Today we're going to disassemble, clean, lubricate, and reassemble a Rock Island Armory Armscor 1911 A1. And first things first, we always remove the magazine, make sure the chamber is empty. First thing you want to do is put the safety on so that the slide doesn't move back and forth. So press down on the recoil spring plug and turn the barrel bushing clockwise, and then slowly and carefully release the recoil spring. Now, if you don't have strong enough fingers to press that down to remove the barrel lug, you can use a barrel lug wrench. Set the gun down on a table, line up the barrel bushing wrench like this, press down evenly with both hands, turn the bushing wrench clockwise about this far. Now be very careful because that spring is now released, so gently release. Make sure you wear eye protection for this, because if you don't capture that, this is going to fly out. So another way to remove the barrel bush is to get a Real Avid Smart Bench Block. It's got a built-in tool just for this purpose. So what you want to do is line up the bushing with this part right here, and you would do that like this. Then you want to press the gun down nice and evenly to depress that recoil spring plug, and then turn the gun clockwise. You can hear it pop out, and then gently release the gun upwards. It comes out. Now we want to take the safety off, and we want to move this notch to line up with the top of your slide stop, right to there, and then press on this side of the slide stop lever. Bring it up like that, and you can pull that all the way out of the gun. Once that's out, you can slide everything right off the front of the frame. Now you can pull the spring off the front like that if you want. You could also move it out the back like that. Take your guide rod out. Okay, once that's done, now we need to remove the barrel bushing right here, and to do that is to now swing it all the way other way. See if it'll pull off the front like that. If it's tight or stuck, you can kind of push the barrel from the back here, and that'll help push that out. But this one wasn't stuck, so pull that out. And now this lug flip down, barrel will come right out the front of the slide. So now we can start cleaning. Now to clean the gun, I'm going to basically take each piece and I'm going to put some solvent on it. This isn't really solvent, this is a gun cleaning oil. It's a CLP. This is what I use for everything, original gun oil. It doesn't have a smell to it, and it's non-toxic, so I don't need to wear gloves. You can use this, or you can use something like Hoppy's No. 9. It's a little bit stronger solvent. I have mine. I like to keep it in this dispenser to keep it from getting contaminated, and got a pump in it, so I just press down on the cotton swab and it brings up nice clean solvent to the top. So basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of coating of original gun oil kind of all over every piece, and then come back and wipe everything down and wipe it off, and that'll clean it up pretty good. That you don't need a whole lot, a couple drops. I'm going to pull this off of here, get some gun oil on this. You can use gloves if you want. Like I said, this stuff is non-toxic. Sometimes I use gloves, but I did easier not to use gloves. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to put a couple of drops in here, and I'm going to use a brush, spread that around. You really want to get in the grooves where the slide rails run all the way along both sides. Back here, get the outside clean too. Get some of this all over it, and then you can come back and wipe it down with cotton rag, which is what we're going to do. Rails here, don't want to get too much, just enough to kind of coat everything. Slide stop lever, put it on the outside of the barrel. What I love about this CLP, so not only are we cleaning everything, but we're going to leave the slightest residue of protectant on here to keep it from corroding. Now the next thing to do the inside of the barrel, this barrel is pretty dirty on the inside. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a couple of drops right down the barrel. I'm going to take a cotton swab, just lightly run that in and out just to kind of spread that oil cleaner in there. Let it sit for a little bit. Then we're going to run a bore snake through here. Okay, so now that everything's had a few minutes to sit, I'm going to start with the barrel. I'm going to wipe it down with, this is just cut up t-shirt, cotton. I'm just going to wipe this down, clean up, get all the dirt off of here. All right, now to do the inside, we've had some oil sitting in there. I'm going to use a Hoppy's bore snake. This is the Viper version. It's a little bit better than the standard version, but It's got copper brushes built into it, 3 copper brushes, so it's going to give it a good brushing, and then all the rest of this fits nice and snug, and it's going to wipe the inside nice and clean. You just drop the end in here, and you want to make sure you get the right size. This one's made for a 45 caliber barrel. Pull it through. Now this barrel is on the dirty side, so I'm going to drop this through probably 2 or 3 times, if that's all you need to do. That's looking pretty good. Barrel's done. Now I'm basically going to take each piece, do the small pieces, and just wipe them down. Wipe all that oil off of there. Could probably put a bore snake through there as well. Recoil spring plug. Just wipe down the recoil spring. Do the guide rod next. Put a cotton swab down in the middle of that. Now we want to take care of the slide. Now there's a lot of nooks and crannies in the slide, so I'm going to show you a little trick you can use. You can use cotton swabs. Of course, these have a pointy end and a not pointy end. These are really nice cotton swabs. These do a real nice job of getting in this groove. It's very important to get that groove up and down. Another way you can get in all these little slots right here is to loosely throw the cloth over there and then use your brush, semi-stiff brush, kind of use that to push the rag into all the little tight spaces. Push it in there, move it around like that. This is the breech face right here. Make sure that is clean, and especially under the extractor lip there. Underneath that hook, make sure that's clean under there. Just take some time and you get all the nooks and crannies clean. You get back here with a firing pin, clean and dry. Let's move on to the frame. And I'm just gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna wipe this down real good in the notches. Push this down in there. All the surfaces, boy, that's pretty dirty in there. Look at all that. Off real good. This is the ramp where your rounds slide up into the chamber, so you want to make sure that's nice and clean. I like to push the cloth all the way through, just to kind of clean all in there. Okay, now we're going to lubricate and reassemble. Okay, I'm going to use original gun oil, put a little bit of lube in a couple of places. We'll start with a guide rod. Just going to put 1 drop on here. Doesn't need to be much. For this, just going to smear that around. I'm going to put 1 drop on the slide stop lever pin that goes into the gun. Just a coating on there. Barrel lug. It's very important to have some lube on this, so the next time you go to take it apart, it will come apart. But again, just 1 drop. Just kind of smear that around. All right. Don't really need to lube this. To just kind of smear some on there, just to, it'll help corrosion, things like that. We want to get a coating on this barrel, so maybe 1, maybe 2 drops. You just want to get a coating. You want 1 little tiny drop where this link connects, so that stays loose. And you don't need much at all. And the slide, we're going to put 1 drop here, 1 drop in each of the slide cuts on either side. And what I like to do with that is just take a brush and kind of make sure that drop gets run along the entire length. And this is just a little right there like that. All right, and we're going to go to the frame. Similar thing on the frame, 1 drop on each rail. Smooth that around, drop on each rail. 1 drop, again, small drop. And if you get too much on there, just take it off. You don't need too much. Too much oil attracts dirt. Might want to put a drop here on this pin, right there, just a little tiny bit. All right, to put the Rock Island Armory 1911 back together, first take the slide, take the barrel lug down, that all the way in. All right, now you get your barrel bushing. There's a notch on the bushing, and that's going to line up with this gap here. Put it in this way, push that in, and then move the barrel bushing over like that. Okay, so next, I want to take the closed end of the spring. This is the open end, this is closed end, and just slide it onto the guide rod all the way down. Put that in like this. Put it in like this. Make sure it's seated that way, and just like that. With this link, you're going to kind of hold it together a little bit like this. Make sure this link is like that. You want to slide the frame on. Now you want to line this hole up with this hole, and you'll see this pass through if you look through. So very slowly and carefully slide that on there. If you look through the hole, you'll see it pass by. Let's see that again. Okay, there it passed by. It went too far. Back up. When that's lined up, take your slide stop pin. Just drop that in there. Don't want to do anything yet, because now we want to move this notch right over this square hole here. That notch is lined up just like that. Then you want to take this, place it on here with that notch like that. Press 1 thumb down on it. You want to kind of press it against that pin. So 1 thumb there, 1 thumb here, and then press it in Went all the way in there. All right. And then you want to close the slide till the safety latches. Now, with the recoil spring plug on the end, be very careful, wear eye protection. When you press this in, I'm going to press that in. You don't want it to fly out because there's a lot of pressure now. Press that down, turn the lug until it catches the edge of it. So you've caught the edge of it. And then now you can press it down further and move that lug all the way back like that. And if you need to, you can use your wrench to make that easier to do. Right, and now that that's together, take your safety off, move your slide all the way back, lock it in place. Everything looks good. And what I would do is work the slide a few times to get that oil worked in there. Then get yourself a rag, spend a couple of minutes wiping down the outside of the gun, make it look nice and spiffy. All right, now we're all done. Next thing you want to do is there's a link down in the description for a function and safety check for a 1911. So you want to run through that real quick to make sure everything's working. If you like this video, please hit the like button below. All the things I used here will be in the links will be in the description below, and please subscribe. Thanks again.